Hey everyone, welcome back to Automation. So, Automation has received an update since the last video that I've done. Some good improvements, including resolution, so thank goodness for that. It's down to 1080p, hopefully things are looking good. But I just wanted to say that before the video gets started, just in time for the winter, I've added to the merch store. We've got hoodies in the Boosted Bro JP logo. Make sure to check those out on Teespring, they are pretty sweet. Okay, so for those of you who have been asking me for a while now in the comments, how I changed the design room to a more modern looking one. It's down here. It's 2010s instead of the 80s. That's all you have to do. Alright, on to the build. Alright, so we made it in-game. Load times have actually increased pretty significantly. I don't know exactly why that is, but you know what? This time, this build is going to be a SEMA build, but we're going to be building it 2 weeks too late. So when looking at SEMA coverage, I noticed two things. 1, Supra, 2, over fenders. So that's exactly what we're going to attempt to do. I'm going to be using this 2009 coupe body. It's not going to be an exact Supra by any means, but I don't know, we'll make it interesting. This is the first time going with this new version of the game, well, new version of Automation. I noticed that they've changed this to be blue. I don't know. Okay, so for this SEMA build, let's be real about it. So it's going to be, let's say, carbon fiber panels. It's not going to be a realistic vehicle at all. It's very SEMA ready. Monocoque, carbon fiber again, because literally everything has to be carbon fiber for these. Let's go for a front longitudinal engine. We'll try and show that off on the front. And we'll just have double wishbones. Maybe a push rod in the back, because that'll look nice. Oh, they've changed this as well. So we have existing engine, new variant of existing engine, or new engine family and variant. For this one, we're going to be doing a complete new engine project. This is my first time doing this, so I'm figuring this out as I go. Let's make a name for it, and they actually force you to this time. Alright, so this is what I've come up with. Let's go ahead and try it. Interesting, okay. I like the blue. I also like the blue stripe all around there. It looks kind of nice. So my thinking for the engine on this car is that it looks good, but it doesn't work. So wow, that is a okay game. I think there's something wrong here. So it's definitely going to be a V8 because it just has to be. We'll make it out of nice, like, foreign materials. I don't know. It's all about looking good. Power literally does not matter at all. It's all about pretending at least to have power in this case. This build is going to be very much focused on the actual design of the car rather than the engine. So I've managed to make the engine absolutely massive. It's an 8.5 liter V8. That's good enough. We're going to try to go for all-wheel drive, although, again, this car is very non-drivable. We'll see. And internals don't really matter, but we'll just go for them anyways. Of course, it's got to have turbos, got to have some big turbos as well. So to make big turbos in Automation, all you have to do is turn these up. Not concerned about anything else there. And of course, it's going to be direct injection as well. Ooh, this is looking good. This is going to look great in the car. It's probably so big though that this intercooler is going to stick out. But my goodness, those are some massive turbos. And we'll go dual exhaust. We'll just make the exhaust massive too. We don't need any of this. And look at that, it makes 500 horsepower without even trying, but we're not even going to tune it. That might be the first time I've ever not tuned something. It's all about the look. Alright, we need a new paint color. This orange is one that I've used before, but I just like it so much. We need something flashy. Okay, maybe not that flashy though. Alright, so I've made the wheels black and the car itself is lime green. That should grab some attention for our company. Surprisingly, most of the mods that I have are still working, which is pretty nice. We'll have to apply some of these. And this is where things get interesting because, like I said before, this build is all about the design. Let's try and make something very SEMA worthy. Oh wait though, before we go any farther, let's get that engine in there. I want to see it. It's hidden away, but my goodness, those turbos are highly visible. We could theoretically export this car without a bonnet, and then you'd be able to see inside of it, but yeah, we'll just put that back on. Alright, so we need to start in a good place. I'm thinking what we'll do immediately is we'll put some mirrors on it. Now this car is going to be styled oddly, but what we need to do is sort of come up with a project or a product that we're trying to advertise for, because that's usually what these builds are. So everything else is secondary to the advertising. As long as we can attract the attention of the media and the crowds to our booth with this car. Wow, those paints are looking pretty weird. Okay, but as long as we can attract that attention, then we're doing something right. While I'm thinking about that, I have remembered that we have this lovely material that can be used to cover up different pieces. So I'm going to be using this to cut out the back as I like to do. Well, it's not perfect. I mean, it's actually not great at all. I'm going to try and do this a little bit better. Okay, that's a little bit cleaner a cut. That is a lot of tape on there holding that in. But again, just a few small issues. We'll try and cover that up, but it's going to be okay. So that's what the back is looking like so far. Let's try and get some really exaggerated taillights on this. We just need something kind of weird. Or old super lights, that works too. Oh goodness. As if they couldn't get any bigger. Okay, I know this isn't the best body for this build, but I'm trying to make it work. Still haven't decided exactly what I'm going to be using as a brand yet. We'll come up with that in a bit. The lime green is something else though. It's pretty distracting. I'm going to quickly run through the drivetrain because it doesn't really matter that much. Again, not really tuning anything. It just means that we can get away with doing whatever. Obviously, the tires need to be fat though. You know what? We haven't even widened the fenders on this car. Ooh, I gotta remember to do that. Let me do that right now, actually, before I forget. So I don't know if it's the new update or not, but I just can't seem to figure out how to do it. Usually you just be able to do that and then be able to move them, but maybe this body doesn't have it. I don't know. Either way, we're going to have to stick with the wheel size we have. That's okay, though. We can work with it. So it's got 285s in the back, 225s in the front. The rim size is going to be absolutely gigantic, and we're going to make these back wheels, actually just the wheels in general, as big as they can be. Even if it blows out due to overloading, it's not a big deal. So we'll put some offset on there, and we'll increase that. Actually, did that shrink our rim size? Alright, these wheels are huge. They are perfect for what we need. It's going to be showing off the wheels on this car exactly the way it's anticipated to. Now brakes. Brakes don't really matter again. We're all going for that showboat, so we'll just increase the size of them so they stick out very obviously. You can see them, they're just massive in there. 420 mil 6-piston carbon brakes all around. And in terms of this, we'll just go for, I don't know, this stuff. Again, doesn't matter too much. Now the interior is going to be handmade with luxury entertainment and such. And we'll just go for normal traction aids and the like. Alright, suspension. This is a big deal. It's going to be air suspension with active air. We're going to ignore that entirely. Tires have blown out due to being overloaded. Doesn't matter because we're going for style. And this is going to be beeping for the rest of the video, so get ready for that. But race preset, I'm going to lower the car as much as physically possible, and then I'm going to give it a touch of camber. So it turns out if you camber the wheels, you can actually put them out more on the offset. So I just want to try something really quick here. Let's, whoops, let's camber these. Actually, I can't camber them anymore. Unfortunate. Hold on a minute. Alright, so I've shrunk down the size of the back wheels to, let's make them 225s, and then if we go over to the suspension, that's the front wheels again. The front wheels, for whatever reason, can be just massive in camber, but the backs are stuck where they are. Yeah, my theory was that they were too fat to be able to move anymore, but seems like that's all you get. And the fronts, well, we can make those a little bit better. Oh yeah, there you go. That's gonna be the talk of the show there. 11% camber. Let's just go ahead with the 9, maybe a little bit more reasonable. While this car might not exactly be drivable, it's trying to look good, and I'm trying to get there. It's taking a while though. These deep dish rims are definitely interesting. So we're back into the fixtures. Now that we have these giant wheel advertisements, we know exactly what company we can advertise for. So in the badges, I have this stuff here. Where is the right one though? Here it is. Okay, so we have, these are CWS rims, and I believe that there's an advertiser in here for that brand. Yeah, here we go. So we can just slap this everywhere when we get to that. It's going to be completely the CWS car. So I'm not done with the back, but I'm thinking before we get too far on it, we should probably go for the front as well. We need to show off some radiators. This car is twin turbo. We need to cut some holes in it so you can see those turbos. Probably a big scoop on there. I don't know. Some other things are needed for sure. Okay, maybe I'm committing to the theme a little bit too hard here, but I am indeed making everything carbon fiber. And I'm thinking now that we should probably also make the wheels carbon fiber because why not? Alright, it's done. The wheels are carbon. Oh, it's just too good. Alright, so I've done a touch of work to the front, just having this piece on here, but we obviously need more. We're probably... let's try and maybe make these into cutouts. Okay, that's a bit too much of a cutout. Actually, you know what? I might be able to work with that. So if we put our intercooler down here, it'll actually be visible, and you can kind of see the turbos this way, so that's a good thing. Thankfully, the intercooler mod does have an option. I forgot which one it is. I guess it's the first one. There we go. So we can have it in the back, and that way we can have two large intercoolers very plainly visible here. 2 turbos, 2 intercoolers. It all makes sense now. Okay, so what if we take a Mustang style, I guess it's a Mustang like RTR grill, just put that on here as well. Oh wow, this is a weird looking car. The reason I'm choosing this is because of these things on the side. I believe they are indeed lights, so we'll use those to their fullest extent. And, I don't know, something with this. I'm honestly starting to feel like somebody needs to take automation away from me. I'm, getting a little bit crazier and crazier with my designs to interesting proportions. So you know when you hit that point where your vehicle, your build, just has too much detail? I kind of hit that point just a second ago when I made this wiper carbon fiber, but I mean everything else looks good, right? Okay, maybe not, but hey, I'm having fun. So I've added a bit to the front, a nice CWS logo there, some canards, still nice and open at the bottom so you can see the engine kind of, not really. These things here, what I want to do is make them open as well so you can see into the engine bay. I've added a massive bump as well because this car's got a lot more power in there than it did before with an 8.5 liter very large V8 twin turbo that doesn't actually make any power. We need to do the side still, we need to do the over fenders, and the back, I put a temporary wing on there. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. It's about as over the top as I want, but I don't know. Just needs more carbon. Alright, we're gonna pull something out of the books from Need for Speed, at least the classic ones. We're gonna put a scoop on the roof, because why would we not at this point, let's be real. I'm gonna continue the same design language, and I'm gonna move some of these up here. Obviously they're not going to be as big though. That's just a little bit too big. Does this make any sense? No, it doesn't, but that's really not the point. It makes sense in terms of just ridiculous builds. Alright, I'm pulling out all the stops for this car, at least all the mods. We've got carbon fiber back window louvers. Again, over fenders still plaguing me, unsure what to do there. We're going to have to do something with this big blank space. It's not just going to be symbols. And I have decided to use this wing. I'm just putting it way out the back. Also, we definitely need something here. But I think the front is good. That's a suitable amount of bling for this car. Alright, we need to get these over fenders done somehow. Some way, they just need to be there. Now, there are a few options that we have. Again, unsure exactly what I want to do, but I just need to put them out just a little bit. Yeah, this is probably not going to be it. Now, there's always the Super GT pack, but I've used it quite a bit in some of my previous builds. You probably remember it because of these. Yeah, they work pretty much perfectly for a lot of the builds these days, thankfully. A little bit less clumsy than they used to be, but still, pretty hard to put on. Okay, so we can do tiny accents like this. It's not much, but it's something. That's going to work for the front at the very least. We might be able to mirror that on the back as well. It's better than nothing, but it's not quite as much as I would have liked. That's okay though, let's try it over here. Yeah, the angle on this isn't exactly perfect, but I might end up leaving it. It's kind of cut out a bit of the body, but it's okay. Like if I put them exactly where they should be based on the angle, this isn't enough to go around the wheel well, so it's unfortunate, but it'll just have to be out a little bit like this. What we could try and do, again, this build is so focused on design more than anything, I can try and cut this out of here. That might be a bit of a challenge, but we might be able to do it. Oh, it really doesn't want it in the corner, but I can kind of make it grow a little bit. At least it's semi-cut out. Yeah, that works for me. You can still kind of see the inside of the wheel well. I don't think we can get rid of that. Yeah, no, the fixtures just won't go there. But that works. Well, this build is getting to the point where it's about as janky as it can get. I'm starting to add on some side trim and help mask some of the issues at the back here. So if we put that down, it sort of blends it together, and then we make a carbon fiber. It just blends the whole car together. Right now we need a very unnecessary and very large vent back here. Just trying to pick the right one based on shape. Probably something like this though. And it's already carbon. Oh my goodness, it's perfect. It's almost too carbon for this. And then what we can do to add some definition to the door is grab that Testarossa grill. Throw that in there too. So does this take the cake for the most obnoxious looking build I've done on the channel? Because I think it's getting near a close second at least to the Disco Puck. Alright, let's put a license plate on it. Actually, it's just going to be CWS, isn't it? Alright, and now we need some final touches. I was thinking that we could do an arrow pointing to the wheels is like, look at these. So let's give that a try. Oh yeah, we have an arrow. It's unfortunately yellow, which I guess doesn't really match too well with what we're trying to do. Okay, there's no denying that this is going to be great advertising. Alright, before we go too far, again, we need to add in those CWS decals. Now that we've introduced yellow to the car, it's kind of a green and yellow, isn't it? So we've got to attach a few of these symbols on here. I'm gonna have to place these all manually because you can't just mirror them. It doesn't work like that. So CWS here. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Hopefully it can bring the car together a little bit, because right now it's definitely a bit off. Alright, is it a masterpiece? No. Wait a minute. Okay, I think I'm missing some things. Gotta make sure that all these fixtures are mirrored on both sides. I haven't put a gas cap on. Does it really need it? I guess it probably should have one. Even though theoretically it doesn't actually work. They need to idle it out of here somehow. Alright, I think I'm done. I probably shouldn't be adding more. It's just kind of slowly getting worse and worse over time, but this is what it currently looks like. Probably put these up a layer. Yeah, the CWS mobile, now called the Green, is ready for business. Let's skip through some of this other stuff and then we'll see what kind of stats it ended up with, because I really wasn't checking. And then we'll export it into Beam and have ourselves a, I don't know, I guess a mini SEMA, some of the cars I've made in the past, so should be good. Alright, so drivetrain's already done, not really concerned about this stuff. Car is just gonna sit. Brakes and everything are good. We did aerodynamics. We did pretty much everything up to suspension. If we look at the overall summary, it's a two-door, yes, but it's got 525 horsepower. They're going to say it's got 2,000 though. Twin turbo, massive turbos, dual clutch, double wishbone, pushrod rear, 1,581 kilos. Let's just take a 1 off of that. So it's 581 kilos. Wow, ultralight. But anyway, it's here to advertise the wheels more than anything. It's a good thing this brand doesn't exist. So we're not going to spend too much time in Beam, but this is what the build looks like. The arrows actually came out orange. I thought they were yellow for whatever reason, but the carbon is like very aliased, so it's kind of hard to see, but it's pretty cool. I wish that it came a little bit darker. I guess I could have just made a carbon paint and then painted everything that, and then made that darker, but the wheels themselves turned out really aliased again. But I think the car overall actually looks pretty good. And interestingly, it sounds pretty good too. It kind of sounds like it's supposed to, like a car that has a fake amount of horsepower. So yeah, that's what it sounds like. Not too bad. Unfortunately, the carbon on these scoops came out white. I don't know. It's not exporting that well, but either way, it's just a very odd build. It's a very weird looking car, but I like it. The design cues are definitely unique, we'll say. They're very unique. And because I can't spawn too many cars, I've decided to spawn the Dangan Stance. Haven't seen this one for a while, but it does have a unique feature. in that this entire side of it is covered with stickers. It's a sticker bomb car. Okay, I keep clipping into this other one, but that's a good look for it. Now, interestingly, like I said, and like the game said as well, if you start this thing up with the intention of actually driving it, and my goodness, it's really loud. It doesn't drive that well because the tires are flat because they're so small. They're not enough to take the weight of the car. Probably should have stripped out all the interior and put up the quality sliders to make it a little lighter. But I think this car, even with its current power, just completely untuned. Like, I didn't touch the engine, you saw. Didn't touch the suspension, really didn't touch the brakes, like, no tuning at all. Just incredibly stiff springs so it didn't sag. And this is what you get. It's actually not that bad a driver. If we were to try and improve this car and make it something real, then we could actually probably make something good. I know those V8s are capable of over 3,000 horsepower. Might not aim for that though, I don't know. Alright, well, as we get to the photo scene, I guess if we want to really do it, it'd just be like we're idling there. I don't think these cars have an idle like that though, unfortunately. And I've accidentally dropped it into the ocean. Yeah, because this car can actually get up to some speed. Managed to get up to 150 just coming down this straight. Only 540 horsepower, was it? Like, that's not much for something this quick. So I should probably say, don't get me wrong. Okay, the wheel is just non-existent now. That's just a pie. It literally has no back wheels. So I should probably say, I don't hate these big car shows. I don't hate SEMA. I know I've kind of been making fun of different tropes of it in this video, and that's sort of the idea. That's actually the entire idea. I'm just out here trying to poke some fun at some of the tropes that I saw. There were a ton of Supras. There were a ton of wide body kits. We couldn't get the wide body kit quite down, and we definitely didn't get the Supra, but we've made something unique, and that's really all that matters. But anyway, that's it for this video. I'll see you again next week. Alright, hold up. Don't go anywhere yet. I've got some people that I need to thank. Canadian Steel, Boris Ramirez, Slow Fried Chicken 69, Overlord, and Justin. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate all of those who decide to support me in this way. But yeah, that's it for this video for real this time. Gonna be back at it again next week. I don't know what's gonna happen though. Might take a break from automation again. You never know. Anyway, showcase is coming up, so be ready.